been flipping through the channels late at night and you stumble across some movie you never heard of? You click the guide, the synopsis doesn't really tell you much, but you're like, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm not tired, I just got off work, or whatever. For whatever reason, you're gonna be up for a while. So you're like, okay, yeah, I got an hour and a half to watch some stupid movie. I'll give it a shot. The movie I'm talking about today is called Alien Raiders. It came out in 2008. It was one of those straight to DVD movies or straight to cable, I'm not even sure which came first. But it's a low budget film about aliens, obviously. Well, I don't remember exactly when I saw this movie. I know it was years ago. It could have been 2008, 9, 10, I'm not sure. But I do remember being up late for whatever that reason was. I'd probably gotten off work and flipping through the channels and I saw this movie. And to my surprise, I truly enjoyed it. Yes, it is low budget. Yes, there is cheesy dialogue. The acting isn't the greatest, but there's something I really enjoy about a movie with a somewhat original idea. It's not completely original, obviously. It actually steals a bit from like Body Snatchers and other movies like that and The Thing, but it does it really well. And I can really appreciate that when I see something that I haven't seen before. And if you remember how cable used to be, you'd catch a movie like this kind of late at night and it would be on repeat. You'd see it over and over again throughout that month or the next couple of months. And I remember watching this movie at least twice. Fast forward many years later, I could not remember the name of this movie. I could remember what it was about, but I couldn't remember the name of it. And I did a Google search of it and I was like, oh, it's called Alien Raiders. And I looked it up. It's one of those movies that's hard to find an actual, you won't find a Blu-ray copy of it. It's only on DVD. And I remember seeing it on some network. I can't remember what it was. Saw it again. I was like, oh yeah, I remember this movie. It's pretty awesome. Well, to my surprise, that movie now is on Tubi in HD. And for anyone out there who hasn't seen it, go ahead, Tubi's free. Log in, watch Alien Raiders, because I'm about to tell you about this batshit crazy movie.
Jesus fuck. Circus come to town early this year.
So you're probably asking, what the hell is this movie even about? Well, it starts out at a supermarket in a small town in Arizona. You get introduced to a few of the main characters, to include the police detective, his stepdaughter, and her friend, who's also a co-worker at the grocery store. Pretty quickly, a crew of what seem to be robbers enters the store. They seem to be killing some of the customers, but not all of them. They're all wearing masks, and they have a guy with them that goes by the name Spooky. Spooky is checking people for something. When he finds what they're looking for, they kill that person. If not, they let the person go. So they were basically holding all the remaining people hostage in this grocery store. We also get introduced to an off-duty cop, who of course tries to be a hero. He takes out a gunman, he exchanges fire with some of the other gunmen, and he eventually kills Spooky before being shot and killed himself. By this point, you've already found out that the team is searching for some kind of alien creature in these people. They also say that it's fitting that the invasion started here and it's going to end here. It's one of those things in the movie isn't really explained, but I honestly don't mind those kinds of things in these movies because I don't need a lot of backstory. Now the police have the store blocked off and we're reintroduced to the detective from earlier. Turns out he moved there from Chicago, so he's a big city police officer and now he's a detective in a really small town, and he's still adjusting. The team is on edge because now they're trapped in the store and they still haven't gotten to their goal, finding the king, or what they refer to as a king alien. They have to figure out if any of the remaining hostages are infected and if one of them is the king, because they suspected the king was in the store. They devise a test to find out who's an alien and who isn't by having the hostages drink milk and cutting off fingers. However that works, doesn't matter. They don't really explain these things, honestly. While the police are outside trying to figure out how to either get in or communicate with the terrorists, the hostages are plotting ways to escape or take out the terrorists. As with most films like this, it doesn't go well. The police do eventually get in contact with the leader of the group, a guy named Ritter. One thing I really like about this movie is the way that the exposition is done. It's pretty much done in a found footage way where they show camcorder footage of the team and their work. And also with the police reports, the police find out all the information they could about Ritter, his background with JPL, the meteor that landed, and so on. And I really enjoy the fact that the exposition is just built into the story and not some person doing an exposition dump like you see in a lot of movies. Now back to Ritter. In his negotiation with the police, He asked for a woman named Charlotte to be let out of jail to come and assist him. Turns out Charlotte had the same ability as Spooky, and she used to help the team a while back before a botched mission made them part ways. Now, I'm not going to give away what happens after that point, but just know this movie does a pretty good job of building a little tension, having a little mystery, making an interesting sci-fi story, a little gunplay, a little action. It pretty much gives you everything you look for in a low-budget movie that is still entertaining. And you can tell they made the most of their small budget. This entire movie happens in one location, and is kind of reminiscent of the film The Mist, which also takes place in a grocery store. To sum it all up, I really enjoy this movie, and I think anyone that's into sci-fi or horror films would also have a really good time with it. It doesn't really compare to some of the greatest sci-fi horror films, but it doesn't have to. It does so many little things right that you can look past some of the limitations of the budget and some of the acting. So absolutely give this movie a shot. Like I said, you can find it on Tubi. You can also find it on YouTube, but the Tubi version looks a little better. If you've seen this movie before, let me know in the comments. I really want to know what other people think about it if they've seen it. And thank you so much for watching. I'll be back soon with another movie you've probably never seen, but you should certainly give a shot. Thanks.